Hi everyone and welcome back to the SD League September monthly tournament. Today we have our second game with Hippie and Rabid Squirrel. This time Hippie is playing on the right in red as the first British Armoured, so they've switched to some extent. Hippie's now playing as the first, whereas it was Rabid last time. This time Rabid is playing as the third US Armoured Division. Obviously we can see an Apache out straight away. Oh, 3 Apaches across the map. And we can also see a Phantom 2 and a Tornado in as well. Some early game dogfighting there. The Tornado comes out on top, shockingly. I found that not to be the best plane. There's also a Harrier cluster in, trying to take out these choppers. Another Tornado F3 in, and another Phantom in there as well. Lots of aircraft in now. Here, another engagement. Tornado getting a good shot off there. Oh, Tornado wins the fight. Again. Quite impressed with the Tornado there. I've never had that much luck with them. Harrier still in with its bombs still available, though it is running low on fuel. Hippie in a nice position here with quite a few units. He's got some Bedfords there, dropped off a load of units, or about to. Just some standard rifles, a couple of scimitars there for recon. And he's dropping off a javelin there for anti-air. Nice spread for Squirrel as well with the M150s spread across the map here. These have a tow launcher and a machine gun. Cluster bomber still in. Has it actually dropped its payload? I think it must have done. There's something dead over here, look. Though that hasn't been destroyed by cluster bombs, I don't think. Skirmish going on already here between them both. Scimitar dishing out the damage with its Radan gun. Though another 2 M150s there. We're seeing this quite a lot now, is multiple divisions having very spammable early game recon vehicles that can dish out a lot of damage. Obviously these guys with the tow launchers. Then you got the French that have ridiculously good tank cannons. Nice HE bomber there with a Harrier taking out those forward infantry. Very good use of early air by, I would say, Hippie in particular in this game. Obviously Rabid bringing out early air as well to try and counter that, but Hippie came out on top in terms of both players have mortars on the go as well already. Hippie was mortaring the front line, Rabid is mortaring Hippie's mortars. And there's another mortar back here as well. Do see a command rolling in the back there. I assume it's going to stay in that position. We can also see some more scimitars coming in. How much are those scimitars now? They are 45 points, so they're not too expensive. And how does that compare to the M150? The M150 is 40 points. Phantom cluster coming in there. Going for the Chieftain, but the Chieftain is on the move, but it will take a shot in the side from that. Oh, and it's dead. Yeah, it will not survive a side shot from a tow missile. Not happening. Hippie has absolutely nothing in here. He is sending in these scimitars now, but there is an M150 rolling in there. There's Gazelle Recon spotting it, I think, at the moment. And there is a Hell Arm coming over to try and deal with it before the scimitars get there. Obviously, realistically, Rabid has very little there as well. Both players managing to kill each other's early forces very effectively. Hippie, however, has a foothold in Delta. And that said, Rabid technically has a foothold in Gulf. And it's not much of a foothold for either player, is it? Realistically, it's, you know, one squad of military police with the M60. Okay, Hippie slightly ahead. He has 2 squads of rifles, but one of those squads of rifles is badly injured. Some engineers, dragons pushing up here in an M35. I think they are going to get engaged on the road, and they are dead. That was the rifles getting a shot off there with the Law 80. There's another squad of mech rifles coming in there. There's an Apache rocket still alive, but badly damaged there. Multiple commands coming in right now for Rabid. He's going to put one in here, one in here. I don't think he'll be going to put one in Hotel anytime soon. In terms of the other side, no more commands coming in for Hippie. So what we've decided is the first obviously have a significant disadvantage because all of their units are very, very expensive in general. And as a result, it generally looks like they have less on the field, even though some of the units are quite good. But I think the general thought is at the moment, even in the latest patch, this is on the previous patch, even on the latest patch, the Brits are unfortunately right at the bottom of the table when it comes to who you should be playing, especially in 1v1s. They just cannot compete with most of the other divisions. So rebalancing is in the works, I'm told. I believe that one of the devs posted that on one of Protos's videos from SD League, so over on the SD League channel. So slow dribbles of forces coming in. I mean, right now, Rabid is spending an awful lot on commands. Obviously, he wants to get out ahead in commands. He's already +2 and slowly creeping up. A Harriet GR3 HE bomber coming in here, possibly to hit those military police. A couple of squads here. These arm rifles getting hit by mortars, getting hit by 2 squads of infantry. They are definitely going to die. There's no way they're going to survive that. They're also stunned now. Mortars hitting... more mortars hitting other mortars at the moment, as Hippie now tries to take out Rabid's mortar. Although he has switched targets very quickly to the top of the map. I assume he's going for these guys? He is. It's not very accurate at that range, is it? Wow. Is that cohesion low or something? No, it's not. It's very inaccurate at that range. Commands in multiple points now for RabidSquirrel. He will now be +4. Hippie has a decision to make. Does he let Rabid get ahead in points, or does he bring in commands himself? No attempts to go around the back for either player at the moment. Cluster bomber flittering around at the back here. Multiple squads of infantry and warriors coming in. And a chieftain Mark 11 there for Hippie. More warriors coming in down here. Gun group warriors coming in there a little bit cheaper. And there is a command coming in there. So Hippie has taken the decision to bring in a command to slow down those points. I suppose even if he just has one in hotel for the time being, it's better than nothing, as it will at least drop that back down to +2. F-15C Eagle finally in and on the map. Another expensive purchase. 275 points, but usually well worth it. Look at these mortars. Hippie is really good with his mortars. He just keeps firing them. He has lost one of his mortars, you will notice. He had one in the middle. It has died. I think that was it there. It was down there and it's dead. It must have died to the counter battery mortars. Again, RabidSquirrel keeping up with the mortars this time though, managing to use them very effectively against Hippie's infantry. Hippie swinging around the bottom here. He is coming up against 2 squads of mech rifles though, which I don't think he would have expected. I certainly wouldn't have expected it. Rabid being a little bit more defensive of this bottom area than Hippie was previously in the other game. I don't know what it is, but much like the last game, I feel as though Hippie has fallen into this having to be defensive the same as RabidSquirrel was when playing as the 1st Armoured Division of the British. Whereas I feel like on the other side, though Rabid has lost a few units, you'll notice from the unit composition he's bringing in, anti-air, infantry, vehicles. The only thing we haven't seen from him at the moment is a tank. But with the infantry he's got available to him, I don't suppose he needs a tank right now. I mean, you know, all of the dragons are very good. They have a long range. It's interesting, isn't it? How much of the Engineer's Dragon are quite... Yeah, 35 points. So they get a dragon launcher and a 35 points. 80 points for the mech rifles. But, I mean, these engineers, great against tanks, great against vehicles. And Hippie is obviously utilising a lot of vehicles because he is the British. And you rely a lot on warriors to help you push. But these things are expensive for the British. That Apache is finally repaired and is on the move. But yeah, it's an interesting how the unit composition is slightly different. It does just feel as though Rabid is prepared to do more of a push and Hippie is needing to be more defensive already in this game. Harrier HE bomber coming in. No idea what it's going for. It is veering off, in fact, I think. Or is it going down here? It's going down here. Oh, it dropped on those guys. I thought it was going to do a strafing run on those ones. Oh, it's dead, never mind. Eagle doing its job very well. Supply in the middle there. Mech rifles pushing up. Getting very close. I mean, there's plenty of fire coming down these mech rifles, but the mech rifles have the dragon, so they have the ability to do damage back. There's one pop. Whether it can kill a chieftain is up for debate. There is an M150 moving up there as well, which will try and get potentially a side shot with that tow launcher. There's the tow. It's off. Side shot dead instantly. An angled side shot, but a side shot nonetheless. Yeah, I just feel as though Rabid automatically has this ability to be more aggressive due to the composition of units, whereas it feels like the first Armoured are very defensive in their nature right now because of the cost of things. As has been noted, there is supposed to be a rebalance coming for the British forces due to their difficulties at the moment, shall we say. Good damage output from these chieftains down here, but those mech rifles are swinging around the side and will be able to put down some serious fire with that dragon if they can get close enough and do a lot of damage. There are some scouts there though, but the mortar's coming down on them. Is it stressing them out? No, cohesion's still high. They're okay at the moment. Our mech rifles moving into the building instead, probably a safer position for them. Well, on the bright side, Hippie has managed to get commands in for every point, anyway, in the midst of all of this, and is neutralised. RabidSquirrel obviously quite far ahead at 949 points. We are a quarter of the way, or over a quarter of the way into the game. There's 27 minutes-ish left. Rabid doing a fantastic job with his mortars this game, and I hate to say it to you, Hippie, but I think Rabid is doing a better job with his mortars this game than you are, and usually you are the king of mortars and artillery. So I'm genuinely surprised. And again, this could just be because of the nature of the British division right now. Oh! Bradley Recon Bradley round the back managed to get that with a tow 2. That one missed. Chieftain Mark 9 and two Chieftain Mark 9s managed to finish the job. Wow. Did not see that go around the back at the bottom there. That could have been devastating if it had got a rear armor hit on that, because it's done a lot of damage. Youch. I think that chieftain turned just in time to take the missile to its front armor. That was a lucky chieftain tank. Loads more military police coming in. Very cheap squad. 15 points. They don't have the anti-tank recoilless rifle, of course, but useful nonetheless. Hippie managed to make a tiny bit of progress and is kind of further out here than he was at the start of the game, but nothing. Well, he's got a gun group and a warrior defending that commander, so it's better than nothing. Rifle commander at the back there. Bringing in more scimitar recon vehicles now, obviously reasonably cheap, as we said before, 45 points. And they have the Raden. Raden fires a little bit slow, but it's, you know, it's extra firepower. But here's the push from Rabid, getting further and further here. And I mean, this is the thing. It feels right now like Rabid is just gaining ground on Hippie all the time. And Hippie, unfortunately, in this defensive position, loses a bit of ground, has to form a new defensive line, and is struggling to push back in. Rabid had a similar issue, and though he managed to push back in once or twice, the eventual thing was the same. The reality was Hippie, who was not playing as the British Armoured Division then, you know, Hippie was able to keep pushing and taking more and more and more, and gradually, slowly but surely, Rabid wasn't able to retake that ground. And it looks very similar right now, even with Rabid's massive push at the end of the game where he got back into this corner. Hippie controlled the rest of the map, and I fear that Hippie is about to succumb to the same issue, perhaps. He's leaning heavily on these scimitars. Chieftains coming in as well. Obviously, they are, you know, these chieftains, they're not bad tanks, but they're expensive. You know, they've got a good gun, but the range on this one is less, and they are expensive. The British have expensive tanks, and I think that's something that may get a rebalance, hopefully, because it just feels very costly, especially the Challenger Mark II. For what it is, it feels expensive compared to what you can get from the other divisions for a similar price point. Chieftain Mark 9 laying down the damage on those Engineers Dragon there. Bradley moving up there. Recon Bradley obviously has the advantage of those TOW 2 missiles. Can cause absolute havoc for Chieftains. Can probably cause absolute havoc for... Oh, there's a TOW. Standard TOW missile hitting it. Or is that just mortars? Oh, it's just mortars. I thought that was a TOW missile hitting it at the front. No, TOW missiles hitting that Scimitar though. Oh! Instantly killed. This is a slow slog at the front here. Very slow. I mean, these units are sort of caught out in the open slightly. I zoom in sometimes, but I can't actually see anything that's going on down there. Mortars laying down lots of fire on all. Look at that front line. They're reasonably tightly packed. Running low on ammo as well, some of these military police. Not a lot here now, just the Javelin. Not a lot for Rabid to send in here either, though. He is bringing in an Abrams now. And some more military police. I wonder if he'll try to push this side of the point as well. Obviously, Hippie doesn't have a lot in there. He's defending that back point because that's where his command is. Cluster coming in. Taking lots of fire from Chaparrals. That'll be lucky to survive, and it is dead. 2 15s in as well. Youch. Youch, ouch, ouch. Tornadoes coming in a little bit late to the party, unfortunately. They need to be careful as well. You don't want them going over the enemy Chaparrals. There are 3 of them in the middle there. So many mortars in now for Rabid Squirrel. He is keeping up the pressure. Hippie with 3 mortars in, trying to keep up. That Bradley did get killed at the front, I think, there, didn't it? Yes. This is under sustained fire from mortars, but not taking much damage. Little bit of movement here from Hippie. He has moved that warrior up, but really it's not going anywhere. I feel like that's more just an advanced warning defensive line in case Rabid does push that way. The Apache also set up there on that road in case Hippie attempted to get anything around the back. Loads of Bradleys being called in there with fire teams. Challenger Mark II rolling in from the back there for Hippie. That is an expensive unit to bring in. Loads of rifles and warriors arriving and gun groups at the front here to try and reinforce this line. It is just one hell of a slog right now. I'm surprised we haven't seen any larger artillery pieces brought in by either player to hit the front line as well. Look at this. You won't see much if I zoom in because they're all in forests and stuff, but just look at the fire going in and out of these forests. You know, right now, I'd honestly say Hippie has the superior force here. It's kind of switched. Hippie managing to keep up the pressure, bringing in so many of those warriors as well. Mech rifles almost dead. Another fire team dragon over there. They are putting out so many missiles with those dragons though. Little bit of a push over at this side as expected. Those military police arrived along with some dragon engineers pushing up. Taking mortar fire, taking fire from the tanks. Challenger is rolling up to this front line. Bradley there getting shots on these vehicles from the side. And Abrams rolling right up close and personal. Biggest threat to that Abrams, probably the Chieftain Mark 9. And there's 2 Abrams though. They're going to come out on top and kill most of these vehicles. Armed rifles might get a shot off, but they've only got the Law 72. And that's just not enough damage. It's not like the Law 80, which does a lot more. Do we have something with the Law 80 there? We do not. I was going to click on them so we can have a look. It's just arm rifles. Gun groups. Oh, Hippie has lost his forces that were there. That early defensive line has gone. There's nothing protecting this now. It's possible for Rabid just to roll in the edge of this point. He could even get a command in there if he wanted to. 2 more Abrams tanks coming in at the bottom there for Rabid. Hippie has managed to push the front line, though. He is now in this point. He does have an overwhelming force, but obviously these 2 Abrams superior to the vehicles that Hippie has available to him on the front line right now. That Challenger will balance that out a bit, of course. But he needs to be careful because there is a Bradley over there with a tow too. And if he shows his side to that Bradley, he's going to get whacked. Plenty of mortars in for Rabid. Doing some counter battery mortar fire. Has killed another of Hippie's mortars there. Multiple Gazelle rockets and Hellarm links in at the back there, preparing to do some kind of assault probably. The problem is they only have 12 rockets each. They're not going to do a huge amount. Maybe this is going to be a rush through, try and kill that command vehicle. Maybe try and get through to the back to kill that one. F-15C Eagle coming in there. Going for this Hellarm, I assume? No, going for the Gazelle at the front. My mistake. Very little anti-air there. The 2 tornadoes are in. Did get some missiles off. Will they take it out? Oh, yes. They'll be delighted with that. They did manage to kill one of the F-15Cs. Got a couple of missiles off at the others as well. Is he going to lose a tornado? Oh. Oh, he is so... Oh, my word. Hippie, you are the luckiest person in this game ever that tornado did not die. And Rabid, you are the most unlucky person ever because that tracked rapier came in just at the right moment to kill that. Wow. That was very unlucky, Rabid. Very unlucky. You have my condolences because there was no air defense there that was going to stop you. And then just pop, there it came on the map. That's so unlucky. Hippie has managed to push into this point. I'm very impressed. I genuinely thought he was going to have to play defensively for a lot of the game, but he has managed to be aggressive enough to make a line inside Delta. Can he get a command in there and can he keep it alive? RabidSquirrel bringing in plenty more reinforcements. He's got plenty of Bradleys in here. Look at all of those guys. I mean, that is the line you want against a British tank line. So many TOW 2 launchers outranging those British tanks. And what is the range on this area now? Let's have a quick look. So, I should actually turn that off. What I actually want is the C button. So, we are seeing 2,000... Yeah, so I don't think that a tank at the front line there could hit these Bradleys. Or it would be very tight. Because that's the 2,000 mark. We'll have to see. Let's have a look at the Abrams there. So that has 2275 meter range. I'd like to see one of these Chieftains push up here. Oh, the Chieftain Mark 9 that was over here has died. Aero rifles coming in there. Funny positioning. Tornado got that. Chaparral will get a shot off at the Tornado. It is taking fire from the Pivads as well. It is out alive though. Those aero rifles magically teleported to the ground. That still really annoys me that they can survive their helicopter being blown up midair in any way, shape or form. I don't think even half a squad should drop on the ground. For me, they should just be dead. Hippie's forces at the front here it feels like they're getting whittled down slowly by the tanks and the mortars. Just over 14 minutes left to go in this game. well past the halfway mark. I'm really unsure which way this is going to go. I mean, as it stands, Rabid Squirrel wins on points. So Hippie has to get... There's a command. He has brought in a command infantry at the bottom there. And he's bringing in more reinforcements at the top to try and protect that. Can he maintain a position in Delta to tick up points? He potentially could win the game if he can keep a command in there and tick up at +2 for the remaining 14 minutes. I'm pretty sure he could take Rabid Squirrel over in points. But whether he could defend it for that long, because technically all Rabid Squirrel needs to do is bring in a couple of artillery pieces or bring in a couple of HE bombers, and he's probably guaranteed to kill that command rifle infantry. Because he's going to know the general area where it's going to be. He knows that this is where Hippie's forces are located. So even if for some reason the point bugged out and went grey, he'd still have a good idea where it is. Loads of military police coming in and some LRS. I assume they're going to be coming up here somewhere. Yeah, they're coming down that road now, so I think they're going to come to this side. And there's the big artillery pieces. As if by magic, 2 M1A1 laying down the pain. He's picking off the mortars currently, but that is the kind of power you need to kill those things on the front line, including the command. Hippie bringing in his own artillery, I assume for counter battery operations. Currently +2 to Hippie. But how long can he maintain it? That is the question. 12 minutes left to go in this game. Rabid Squirrel being a little bit more aggressive here, pushing up some Bradleys. Should potentially do a lot of damage to those. Oh, he's got this in here. It's going to take out that tracked rapier. Direct hit. Well done. Hellarm is firing back at the Bradley. Bradley firing at the Challenger Mark II there. Good hit on the front. 3 points of damage to the front armor. Second missile is away. Challenger is almost is in range, but can't see it. Took another shot. Isn't... It smoked itself. It's taking a lot of fire. Challenger is almost dead. Wow. Many reinforcements coming in here for Rabid Squirrel. Vehicles pushing across the front here, trying to get a look at what's in that corner. Doing a lot of damage to all of these infantry sat about and destroying buildings. Plenty of military police coming in. Here comes the artillery drops on this corner. HE bomber also coming in. Oh, he's going for the Hellarm chopper with that. Did quite a lot of damage to it. Tornado is in to counter that. Tornado getting a good strike, but is pulling out before the kill. Phantom anti-air coming in there. Veering off as well. Some of the pushing force from Rabid Squirrel has been destroyed, but he still has a chunk of it left, and there isn't a lot here. Surprised not to see more artillery shells coming in. Perhaps it is the case that Rabid Squirrel is waiting for a target to shoot at. He wants to see where that commander is. He should be seeing it now as it is firing. Lots of fire being put down by these Abrams here. Not seeing those M109s firing as yet. Command pulled out of the point. 10 minutes left to go in this game. Hippie will now really struggle to win this game. Once again, Rabid having the bigger force on the front lines. A little bit of freedom when it comes to bringing in his aircraft, as well as not a lot of their defense down here. Tornado does keep coming in. Tracked rapier is all the way back there. There is no tracked rapier up here. Obviously, it got destroyed. I was looking for the one up here, but of course it just got destroyed by a TOW 2. Tornado taking a lot of fire there. Ooh, that is once again a very lucky Tornado. Phantom being brought in to deal with the front line. HE bomber taking fire from another Tornado. Oh, and it is down. Tornado's doing a good job this game. Counter battery fire from the artillery on Rabid Squirrel's mortars has done some serious damage to them there, has killed one. Lots of shots coming in from the artillery on Rabid Squirrel's side as Rabid Squirrel does another push into Golf. Poor Hippie having to retreat his forces. That commander is probably going to be killed. Challenger 2 routed, retreating back. Chieftain, I think, Mark 9 there, getting a kill on an Abrams tank, I think that was. Challenger Mark 2 here, still at full health, being used to force back those infantry. Abrams here, still taking shots at that command squad. Cluster bomber going in, and that is one very, very dead tank. Poor Challenger. Tornado came in to deal with that, but the F4Es, sorry, are in. F4Es, one dead. The other one taking shots from the Tornado and the ground forces. They have killed each other. There's a trade-off. There's still a Tornado in the field. But that is a few dead aircraft at that side of the map. Apologies for the spin round, everyone. I know it makes some people dizzy. I just wanted to have a quick look. Still artillery fire coming in on these mortars. Or mortars coming in on these mortars. Artillery fire coming in on the back of this point. Just a command left in this point for Hippie now. Just under 8 minutes left in this game, and I think for Hippie it is all over. I don't see any way he can come back from this. He's completely lost most of his front line. He has the command squad in Golf. He's got a tank down here which is almost dead. He's got a squad of scouts there with a Law 80. He's got 2 units in there defending. He's got nothing in here defending. I think poor Hippie has had his day. I commend Rabid Squirrel for his use of artillery and mortars in this game. He has kept Hippie on his toes in a very big way. That command is getting closer and closer to death. They now know where it is. All these forces moving in on it. Aero rifles also being brought in now. Surely that is game. There's no coming back from this, Hippie. He's bringing in strikers at the back now to try and deal with some of the vehicles at least. That's the command dead. Back to +2 for Rabid Squirrel. Just under 7 minutes left to go in this game. I'm expecting a surrender, to be honest, any minute now. Hippie could keep the fight going, but I'm not sure it would provide any fruit at this stage. He's just completely outnumbered on every part of the map now. The Abrams coming in there, plenty of supply to resupply all of his forces for Rabid. We are over the 1,000 point mark, and there's the surrender. Commiserations, Hippie. Again, you know, kills to losses, there's a discrepancy, but it's not massive. It's really not massive. It's not like it's 4,000 or something. Very interesting, both those games. Certainly showing issues with the British Armoured Division there. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. Please do like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all soon for some more WARNO.